Hey, what's up, witches? It's me, Luna, and I'm here for an unboxing for you today. And I will warn you, I have some new and exciting fuckery going on with my cameras that are just deciding that autofocus is really difficult. So we'll see how this goes. I'll try to keep my eye on the monitor if they start acting up. Anyway, I have today the second of the Lisa Hunt decks that I promised you. Hold on. Here we go. This is the Fantastical Creatures Tarot by Lisa Hunt with DJ Conway and Arcana. Wait, let me see if I can find the viewer name that commented and gave me some information. Arcana 1973. Clued me in that there are two other decks that I was not aware of, the Shapeshifters Tarot and the Celtic Dragon Tarot, both by Llewellyn. And I looked those up. They can be had, but usually it's just the book, unless you're willing to pay a bunch of money. So she's done two others with this author. And, you know, Llewellyn, I bet you'd make some money if you re-release those decks. Who knows what the agreement was, whether, you know, copyright reverts to Llewellyn and it's totally up to them, or whether it reverts to the artist and the author. I don't know, but you know, there's a couple decks that maybe should still be in circulation. Anyhow, as you see by the sunshine here, it's a beautiful morning, a rare thing in June in Ohio. The windows are open and I'm really looking forward to this. Okay, so here we go. US Game Systems, typical packaging and everything. They don't have it there. 2007. The mystical powers of Fantastical Creatures Tarot from the world of mythology and folklore are brought to life through captivating imagery, ideal for divination, magic, and meditation. And we just have a card on the back, includes 78 cards and instruction booklet. I have already done my tape thing to this box, but you know what, I haven't done it for the book. What I do is put a piece of tape there and a piece of tape here. There's only one staple here, and that helps to keep it from falling apart. Anyway, here we go. We have acknowledgments, we have the introduction. Mythical beings have been around as long as there have been humans inhabiting the earth. Stories of their magical and spiritual powers have existed for thousands of years. Most of what we know today about these beings comes from ancient mythologies and folklore. Mankind placed images of these fabulous entities in temples, sacred places, and on home altars in order to seek their protection, guidance, and spiritual counsel. It seems these creatures fit into a niche between humans and gods, a kind of middleman of the astral realms. Like most deities, these mythical creatures can be good and helpful, neutral, or evil and harmful. Most ancient cultures believed it was possible to make contact with these mystical creatures. The priests, magicians, and shamans understood that contact would not be on the earth plane, but on the astral level. They followed certain traditions that allowed them to tap into this source of power, using it in their spiritual and magical rituals. And talking about today, most people have lost touch with these ancient sources, most no longer believe in them. It's possible, however, to relearn the ancient art of communication with fantastical creatures. When approached in the proper ways, these powers can help us. By tapping into these astral sources, we can use the ancient images in divination to gain a clearer picture of what is causing life problems and what we can do about it. By meditating on an image, we can gain insight into ourselves and our situation. By focusing on an image during a candle spell, for example, we can use its energy to help manifest a desire. Fantastical Creatures Tarot contains 78 full-color cards arranged in traditional numerical tarot order. This booklet provides the divinatory meaning of each card along with the mythological background and magical powers of each creature. It's possible to reach and use the energy of fantastical creatures for magic, meditation, and divination. Think of these Fantastical Creatures Tarot cards as a tool to improve yourself in your life. And then we're straight into the majors. So we get the name of the card, we get the name of the creature, and then we get something about the creature and how it relates to the card. Then we get divinatory meanings, and then there's magical uses. That's cool. And that continues on through the minors. Excellent. Okay. When we get to the end of the book, come on now. Queen of Pentacles, and using the tarot deck, but we get no suggested spreads. Let's read this. There are several simple yet effective ways of viewing, honest to God, of using the Fantastical Creatures Tarot deck. You can select a card that symbolizes the energy you need to manifest a desire and place it on your sacred working space when you do magic, such as a candle spell. Okay, choose card seems appropriate to your life and meditate on its personal meaning, blah, blah, blah. The most common use is for straightforward divination, asking questions. Most tarot decks are divided into two sections, major and minor. Interesting that they put that at the back. And how they differentiate those. When you do a reading, relax, let the pictures convey a subconscious intuitive message into your conscious mind. The court cards can represent aspects of you, other people, or the atmosphere around the question. All right. Although you can begin by using the meanings from the booklet, don't cheat yourself out of the experience of using and strengthening your intuition. Combine your emotion about the card, the symbols, blah, 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 blah. Intuition is an emotion, but it's inspired by it. And that's it. There's no spread mentioned. How interesting is that? That they don't even say, do it this way. So here we go. We've got regular US game card stocks. Let's get into the cards. Now, I have done a reading with this deck and put it back in order. But it's almost like when I go into unboxing mode, I get surprised all over again. So we have a really interesting addition to this deck, which, what an excellent, excellent idea. Instead of wasting cardstock for like just a card, with the title on it, or like LS does, the Tarosophy card that's just an ad. This deck has quick reference guides. So here's one to the major arcana. We have the name of the card, we have the name of the creature, and then just a pithy phrase or a couple of keywords. The Fool, Amphisbaena, the Unexpected. The Magician, Winged Cat, determination to reach a goal. High Priestess, Uazit, intuition and secrets. The Empress, Morrigan, joy and prosperity. So we go through the whole major arcana, and then we have the minors. Just really, really excellent. And just to look at the courts here, like Page of Wands, look beyond illusion. The Knight is good changes coming. The Queen is happy social events. And the King is unexpected good news. So really, really appreciate those. And of course, they can be used as blocking cards. Let's look at the backs. Here's a symmetrical both ways image. So non-directional. And you see this kind of dragony thing there. Now, unlike what in the hell was the last one I did of hers? Unlike the fairy tale tarot, these have borders. And it's a shame because her artwork is so delicate and so incredibly detailed that you want to get as close as possible. And Fantastical Creatures is unbordered, and I love it. Still, these borders are really cool looking. They're very organic, just looking like branches. And here's the Fool. And I may go through just so I can give you the creature's name. Why not? Okay, Amphisbaena. And we see the creature, there's two heads. All right, let's just look into this first one. According to Greek legend, Amphisbaena can move in the direction of either head. Hold on. Amphisbaena can move in the direction of either head if the two halves hold on to each other, creating a circle, which enables it to roll. The two heads are capable of acting independently, although they often think and work together as if of one mind. The Amphisbaena aptly portrays the fool who, when faced with choices, often can't make up his mind or decides without enough information. If this is the first card in a layout, it may indicate that the wrong question is being asked or that the questioner is hesitant about making choices. So they do an excellent job of relating the creature to the meaning of the card. Here's the Magician, the Winged Cat. Then we have the High Priestess, Egyptian Uazit. We see scrolls here, so there is kind of an allusion to the traditional. We've got the cat here with books and also symbols of the elements, and we've got the scrolls here for the High Priestess. And look at the beams coming in. Beautiful. Here's the Empress, which is Morrigan, and that kind of made me go, what? Because Morrigan is, I think of her as a dark goddess, but she is in fact a triple goddess. So Maid Mother Crone 3 times 3 in one. Okay, hold on. Yes, this gorgeous morning with the windows open, and I'm being reminded that there's high pollen counts today. So anyway, we carry on. Here's the Empress, and she is that mother aspect of the Morrigan. You see a lot of things here. There's a crow. There are apples on the ground. Looks like she's holding a cup. Actually, that's a raven. Here's the Emperor, which is Pegasus. The High Priest is the Rook. The Lovers is the Fawn. Interesting that there's not like a couple that goes together, but still, there we go. The Chariot is Centaurs. Ooh. Do centaurs have wings? I guess they do. Maybe some. Strength is Oriental Dragon. The Hermit is Old Lady of the Elder. Very beautiful. Again, just intriguing artwork. I always feel very attracted. The Wheel of Fortune is the Sphinx. Ooh. Yeah, because the Sphinx, enigmatic. Which way is it going to be? Which way will your luck go? Justice is Lion Dogs. Are those Foo Dogs? Yes, Foo Dogs. The Hanged Man is Medusa. Okay, as a beautiful priestess in the temple of Athena, Medusa was seduced by Poseidon, thus profaning her religious position in the temple itself. As punishment, Athena changed Medusa into a terrible monster with snake scales, hair of writhing venomous serpents, a protruding tongue, and a deadly gaze that turned humans into stone. In this card, Medusa sits along a path bordered with large rocks. The spiral at her feet angers any forward movement. The spirals on the rocks are half-formed, presenting no clear patterns to follow, but many possibilities. Medusa's stare has frozen all ability to see what needs to be done to break the impasse. One must wait, endure, and learn patience. Okay. And the divinatory meaning starts with everything is frozen. All right. They do tie them together. Death is Anansi. I waffled about putting my hair down or not. Now I wish I hadn't. It's in my way. Temperance is Lady of the Lake. So, clearly we have some creatures that are human. Chains is the Devil card, and that is Fenris Wolf. Fenris Wolf. The Tower is the Kraken. The Star is Firebird. The Moon is Unicorn. That's beautiful. And the Sun is Winged Lion. Oh, these are great. Judgment. Eastern and Western Dragons. How interesting. So we're bringing East and West cultures together because they both have dragons. And here's the world, the Rainbow Serpent. Then we're into the wands. This is Simurg, half bird, half mammal. And the 2 is Hugin and Munin, the ravens of Odin. The 3 is the Jinn, the genies. 4 is Egyptian Ba. That was the soul. Oh, the Ba is the heart soul. Okay. That manifests as the astral body. The 5 of Wands is the Japanese Tengu. The 6 of Wands is the white eagle of Zeus. The 7 is the Valkyries. The 8 is Sleipnir. That was Odin's horse. And it's so funny, you know, how you get kind of confronted with the way your brain works, which is, you know, such a non-objective thing. But every once in a while, I get this view into how my brain works or doesn't, as the case may be. For instance, I have been exposed to Norse culture so much, so many times in different, and I still have not absorbed any of it really, because it's really not my makeup this time around. Anyway, there's Sleipnir. The 9 of Wands is the Griffin. The 10 is the Minotaur. The Page is Circe. The Knight is Shedu, the Shedu. This was, do they give us the culture? Massive winged bulls, entrances to temples and palaces, but it does not, he does not name the culture for that. That's kind of odd, but I mean, Assyrian is what it looks like to me. Assyrian, Akkadian from the art. Queen of Wands is Titania. The king is Oberin. This makes sense. Okay, Circe, Shedu, Titania, and Oberin. So we're not really sticking with the same culture through the courts, is what I'm seeing here. So here we have the Ace of Cups. Thor's goats. Oh, wait a minute. This says Ace of Swords. Hold on. Hold up. Okay, clearly I did not put them back in order after I used them. So here's the Ace of Swords. This is Thor's goats. The 2 is Gilgamesh. The 3 is Jenny Greenteeth. Ooh. She drags unsuspecting people into her dark, swampy home. Goodness. And again, they're not mentioning the culture. The 4 of Swords is Vegetable Lamb. Lambs that grow on vines. Okay. The 5 of Swords is Japanese Kappa. The 6 is the Japanese Hoho. So, you know, they do mention culture somewhere. 7 is Fox Lady of Asia. So more general, Kitsune-like. Okay, the Egyptian here, 8 of Swords is Apep. Okay. Then we have the 9. That's the Harpies. The 10 is Kali Ma. So not even fantastical creatures. Clearly we're into gods and goddesses too. I mean, she's perfect. The Page is Werewolf. The Knight is Peacock of Kartikeya, Hindu. The Queen is Naga U. And the King is Vampire. Fascinating. Okay, Cups. The Water Fairies. They say a lot about them. Got a lot to say there. 3, wait. That was the Ace. No, I guess not. They don't have as much to say. The 2 is merfolk. The 3 is hippocampus. Oh my. Seahorses. It's also the name of part of your brain, which does what I don't remember. I can never remember. I don't retain that information either. Okay. 4 is Tiamat. 5 is Lorelei. Wow. The 6 is Yemaya. It's interesting. They are kind of blurring the line there because they didn't talk about gods and goddesses. They just talked about creatures. So I kind of wish that they'd stuck strictly with creatures, but they didn't. So here's the Selkie, and that was also in the fairy tale deck. The 8 is the 9 daughters of Ran. Why would that not be the 9? How interesting. The 9 is Atainsik. Atainsik, it's Native American mother goddess. And the 10 is the Muses. The page is the Nereids. The knight is Manannan MacLear. The cups queen is the mermaid. She looks like she's wearing a fat suit. Anyway, the king of cups is Neptune. Then we're into the pentacles. We have the brownies for the ace. The fae of fairies. Fae of fairies? Isn't that kind of redundant? For the 2, and the 3 is hobgoblin. 4 is fire drake in the pentacles. That is some interesting choices here. The 5 is gnomes. That really tracks. And I'm sorry I haven't been, relating to the meanings of the cards at all, but we got enough to do here. The 6 is the domovoi. Russian. 7 is gargoyles. The 8 is Quetzalcoatl. The 9 is Lilith. The 10 is dwarfs. Page, flower fairy. The knight is elves. Hold up. The queen is Danu. And the king is Lord of the Greenwood. So I went and did a quick lookup. The Shapeshifters was released in 98 and the Celtic Dragon in 99. And then this is 2007. And they can be had, some for less than 50, some for way more than 50. Anyway, just a piece of information. And here's the shuffle. The U.S. Games Shuffle. Let's do 7. Oh, you know what? I usually do my blessing first, don't I? It's all right. It's all good. All right. So yeah, I don't know. I do like what I've seen so far of DJ Conway's writing. Come on. Maybe I'll look for a used version of what's the oracle? Winged Enchantment. There we go. By air and fire may you be purified and charged. I cleaned my desk last night. So wonderful. By water and earth may you be blessed and made whole. And by the sound of the bell, Oh, got a double hit there. May the spirit awaken. Guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. Welcome to the front of my consciousness today, although we've already had a chat in my morning ritual. Thank you for being here with me for this unboxing and help me to bring a message that will be practical and useful to my viewers. I offer you fresh water. I offer you the fire of Azrael, and let's get to shuffling. Yes, US Games, we appreciate. All right. And I am going to shuffle and take cards off the top. I go back and forth, you know, from going off the top to splitting and pulling, but it really does come down to the card stock. It's easy to shuffle, and I can let the shuffle do what it do. Okay, so what do we need to know today? What do we need to know? This reading is on June 15th, 2025. Significant date. They even cut shuffle really nicely. Okay, here we go. We have the Magician. Third time today that card has come up for me. We have the Knight of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles. The Moon. The King of Wands. Majors and Courts. And the Queen of Cups. She's come up several times between last night and today. Okay. You know, it really is about people. I've been thinking about this, that my personal readings lately, you know, when I've been asking about the general whatever that's going on, I've been getting lots of court cards. So what does that tell me right off the rip is it's all about people and what part of ourselves we are bringing to what's happening now. And when it's nothing but majors and courts, it's a major call to people. That's what we're really about now, isn't it? The rule of people. Democracy, the definition of democracy, that it is by the people, of the people, and for the people. And so we really need to be aware of who we are in this moment and how we relate to each other in this moment. So here we have the Magician at the top. Obviously, we have what we need to do what we need to do. He is a call to action. Take up your tools. Pardon me. Work your magic. Okay, let's go to the book. And, you know, the Knight and the King of Pentacles talks about step-by-step, organized, planned action. Slow, steady process. And the King is the keeper of the money, you know, collectively. You've seen so many things about the top 1% own as much wealth as, you know, but I would really like to see how much wealth we own collectively without them. I don't know why, just because I want to. Anyhow, then the Moon and the King of Wands. King of Wands is about getting yourself fired up. What are you passionate about? What do you have solid knowledge and skill at? What can you bring? What's your passion? What is your soul here to do? Show up as that. The Moon talks about cutting through deception, but it's also that underground stream that connects all of us, the emotional zeitgeist. And then we end up with the Queen of Cups here, who is all about intuition and compassion. All right, let's read. The winged cat, a creature found in many cultures. The winged cat has both positive and negative meanings. Cats are considered to be very psychic creatures. Facts. Capable of enhancing a magician's power during a ritual and able to see into the other world. The wings on this magical creature denote its talent for reaching into the spiritual center for power. Through the wand, he channels his needs and desires at will. The crystal ball and the rune stones signify the magician cat's ability to use many forms of divination to see into the past and the future. The dream catcher portrays the magician's ability to communicate with the subconscious mind. Okay. Divinatory, meaning a person who has the ability to draw psychic energy from the universe, a student, especially in the arts, having the self-control and determination to reach a goal. This is an excellent time to make certain that thoughts and energies flow in harmony. And then magical uses, so we don't get reverse. And nowhere do they mention reverses. Let me see, does he even? Because I kind of skimmed in the back here. It doesn't. No, we don't mention reverses at all. So again, not a beginner deck. I don't know that you're really going to internalize the standard, whichever lineage you want, by using this deck still. Okay. Use as a focal point to attract opportunities. Use with pentacles for prosperity and new opportunities. And of course, it's a 1, so, ones are always new beginning. Let's go to Knight of Pentacles. Elves. Although they resemble humans in most features, elves have slightly pointed ears and strikingly beautiful eyes. Most are benevolent and love music, singing, and dancing. Elves are renowned for their vast accumulation of ancient knowledge, but are very cautious about sharing this information with humans. Their elf books contain instructions about foretelling the future. Divinatory, meaning this card may represent a new job, location, or experience. A new psychic talent, magical art, or creative ability is awakening. How interesting that they tie psychic to that. Use magical use for balancing all areas of your life. Okay, so something new they're saying here. New location, new experience, creative ability, awakening. And then the King of Pentacles is the Lord of the Greenwood. The oldest form of the Green Man comes from Celtic legends. God of the woodlands, animals, and fertility. The Lord of the Greenwood is portrayed in Old English church carvings as a half-seen face peering out of leaves. Antlers crown his head, and his eyes are brilliant and piercing. On this card, Lord of the Greenwood merges with the goddess Earth Mother. The web of life is strung behind him between 2 trees. Okay, so we see that. Shown are some of the animals within his protective domain. He deeply loves and cares for each child that is born of his union with the goddess. Divinatory meaning of a person. This can represent a wealthy, secure man who is experienced in handling money. The appearance of such a man will help you in a business. You find new meaning and spiritual comfort in nature. Magical uses used to discover and understand future cycles in your life. Use this card to represent a reputable, stable man with good business sense. Okay, so wealth and security. And I always look at the King of Pentacles as a call to make sure you're in right relationship with your resources, that you recognize them as resources and not as some thing that offers spiritual fulfillment, right? Don't confuse money with worth. So, new experiences, and again, moving forward in a calculated, measured, planned way. And then we come into this sense of ownership. As you can see, I had to take a break and close up all the windows, put my hair up, and turn the air conditioning on because I was taking too many coffee breaks. COUGH. So anyhow, here we go to the moon. I'm glad we got majors to look up. Okay, this is unicorn. The fabulous unicorn is often depicted with the head and body of a horse, the whiskers of a goat, oh, the beard, the tail of a lion, and a white spiral horn in the center of its forehead. But, uh-oh, she didn't make the tail of a lion. Tradition says their horns provided an antidote for poisons and could restore good health to anyone who drank from one. However, the swiftness of this solitary creature made it impossible to catch. The moon card reflects the waxing and waning of cycles in life and initiations into the inner spiritual mysteries. The owl, an emblem of wisdom, can see through the concealing shadows to the truth. Divinatory meaning: you must look beyond illusions and see the truth. You are entering a perceptive cycle that allows you to tune into spiritual vibrations. This is a good time to see behind people's masks, open psychic channels, and make needed changes. Magical uses: using spells to reveal the truth or to access and develop psychic powers. So they really do focus on the psychic ability and tapping into that inner knowing. They do say you have to look beyond illusions. So they don't assign to the moon card some of the standard meanings of deception and, somebody's lying to you. They, when the moon card comes up, when I was reading for clients, it would be that call to don't delude yourself. Make sure you are looking to see things as clearly as you can, because something's shifty. Something is not clear. Something is prone to you painting it how you want to, Shifty. Things are shifty. All right. King of Wands. Oberin. As Prince of Fairies, Oberin's responsibilities include leading fairy hunts, moon dances, and woodland revelries. He is trained in the use of both earth and fairy magic. Surrounded by flowers of rebirth, Oberin is confident in his powers and position. The pentagram on his mushroom throne reflects his strong protective powers. His white wings are a blend of spirituality and creative imagination, keys to any spell. The divinatory meaning: advice from a powerful businessman can help you make a decision. Unexpected good news helps you move forward with your plans. Magical used to represent an influential man who gives good advice. So the standard for me with the King of Wands, and when I was reading for clients, I kind of narrowed what I was doing, and my courts definitely had very specific things. For instance, Page of Pentacles, formal schooling of some type, somebody teaching you or you teaching someone. The Knight of Wands is change of residence, change within the residence, travel, and the King of Wands was consult, a professional consult of some sort. You need advice from someone, or you're going to be the one giving the advice. So this can talk about, all right, so the moon can talk about those unconscious patterns going on. And this can mean belief systems. What is established in your unconscious mind or your subconscious mind is all of the patterns of your beliefs, the patterns of your life experiences, and the beliefs that get embedded because of those experiences. So this is saying that maybe a professional consult, if you're having a terribly bad time, but also just, all right, let me go on with the bottom here and then I'll rip it up. I'll rip it up, tear it up, wrap it up. Okay. So Queen of Cups, mermaid. This beautiful mermaid navigates the great sea of emotions with confidence and power. Her spiritual light shines over her like a giant halo. And circling her are many little fish, ancient symbols of divinatory messages. The coral and seaweed represent emotional openness, the playful inner child, and the ability to attract true love. Bubbles resembling stars in the night sky circle around the mermaid like moons around a planet. Stars signify other lifetimes, spiritual progress of souls, and the ultimate connection we all have with the goddess and the god. Divinatory meaning. If this card relates to a person, she's very feminine and loving woman. If the inquirer is a man, she may be his mother, wife, or lover. If the card symbolizes a situation, it represents a positive creative endeavor. I like the way they differentiate. If it's a person, it's this. If it's not, it's this. Magical uses. Use in meditations or spell work for channeling your emotions into more creative, useful endeavors. Use this card to represent a receptive, loving woman, a wife, friend, mother, or lover. Okay. So the things that are going on down deep underneath. This can talk about you being the person that is doing the consulting or the one who's being consulted. So possibly you as a reader, and tapping into that deep intuition and consulting with people in order to bring them into contact with their own emotional and creative ability. Certainly, the call is to plan before we step out, to have a plan in place. I'm looking at the written stuff here, to have things down on paper. What is it that you're planning on doing? This can be everything from, escape plans to just looking forward to your future and imagining that someday we're going to be past all this crap, that someday we will be fully in our democracy again. And what do we do after that? It could just be, once I'm out of school, whatever it is, planning, certainly planning the process of how you're going to move forward and looking at the resources you have in order to do that. And then we tap into that deep mind, and I want just I just want a minor here, a regular Ace of Cups. I can't tell you how many times the Ace of Cups has come up in readings lately. Cups, Pentacles, Swords, no wands. No wands, but I've been getting so many aces. So what wraps everything up here is this is a new beginning emotionally, a new beginning of joy, a new beginning of fulfillment. Let's look this one up. And how we go about starting that new beginning. We're dealing with the practical and, planned, and we're also dealing with the subconscious. So working on both of those levels. Water fairies. Fairies are known around the world in one form or another. Most are friendly, but others are wild and unpredictable toward humans. The tiny water fairies are sensitive to human emotions and try to spread their happy, loving thoughts. They delight in providing beautiful nature sounds when lovers sit beside water and dream of the future. Divinatory meaning is a greater awareness of dream messages is possible at this time. And look at this, coming next to the Moon and the Queen of Cups. So this is definitely a time to get into your ritual space so you can drop that conscious mind and let these other things well up. Seek out earth energies in nature to bring healing and balance into your life. You will soon enter a new cycle of emotions. So twice here we've heard about go out into nature to find what you need. Soon enter a new cycle of emotions. Possibly a love affair will present itself. This can be a fertile time for creative growth. Magical uses used in spells for contacting nature spirits, also useful in spells to attract love into your life. And that doesn't necessarily mean a lover. It can mean opening your own self-love up. Deciding that you're not going to be so mean to yourself anymore. Practicing speaking to yourself with loving words. I ran into something yesterday as I was cleaning and putting some things away, and they were these little heart pendants with a little holographic mirror in the middle that we made for Hogwarts one time. And it was a mirror so that when you catch yourself saying nasty things to yourself, you can turn around and look at it and say, listen, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean that. I care about you a lot, and none of what I said is true. I'll do better next time. Maybe it's a little magic mirror work, by the way, is so powerful. And it's so powerful to hold a mirror in your sacred space and just sit and have a talk with yourself as if you are speaking to the person you love most in your life, because that's where you should be on that list. And if you find it difficult, then there's your work cut out for you. You know, it's your job. It is your job on this planet to learn to love yourself as much as the goddess loves you. How about that? Well, as ever, I really do love her decks. I love the decks that she herself has written, but this is just as good. And, you know, you get such a wonderful resource of different cultures and things, plus this, you know, these two little quick reference guides. That's an excellent thing that more publishers should do. Anyhow, let me know what you think, you guys. What do you think of this deck? How are you doing? What did you think of the reading? Did it hit for you? I will see you next time. And until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.